Namaste and welcome back to today's episode of Mahabharata Matters. In the previous episode, we saw that Gandhari, in a fit of anger, had cursed Krishna and his entire clan. She had said that his clan will destroy itself and Krishna will die alone in a forest. She had calmed down after hearing Krishna's words. The Kulaguru of the Pandavas, sage Dhaumya, had been sent away to the kingdom of Panchalas. Yudhishthira had sent him there just before they went away on exile. Now he was ushered back. Dhritarashtra had assigned him, Vidura and Sanjaya the task of making arrangements for the after-death rituals for the deceased. It was to happen on the banks of river Ganga. Everyone had assembled there. Sage Narada had come there too. All the men were performing after-death rituals for their kith and kin that had been killed on the battlefield. If a father had died, young sons were performing their Antyakriya. If the sons had died, their old frail fathers were performing the Antyakriyas for their children. There was an inexplicable pain in the eyes of Kuntī. Even after seeing her sons after 14 long years, she was very unsettled. Her firstborn had died at the hands of her lastborn. Just 3 days ago, Arjuna had killed Karṇa on the battlefield. Radheya had 3 sons, all of whom had died on the battlefield as well. Seeing the flowing river, Kuntī remembered how she had let go of her newborn son in those very waters many years ago. Now he had died as orphan as he had when he had taken birth. She could not embrace his childhood then, and now she could not mourn his death either. She could not reveal the truth about him when he had died during the war. Now it was different. The war had concluded. The heroes who had passed on were getting befitting rituals. Now she went to Yudhishthira and wanted to speak with him. Only Krishna and Vidura knew what she was going to do. Yudhishthira had just finished performing the last rites of all his sons and others. At that time, Kuntī said, "There is one more person you have to do the offerings to." Her eyes and face were so pale that Yudhishthira had never seen his mother like this. He said, "I am sure I have accounted for everyone who has died for my sake, mother. Who is it that I have forgotten?" Kuntī said, "Radheya. You have to perform the last rites for Radheya." Yudhishthira was shocked. He said, "He is a Sutaputra. I know all his sons have died on the battlefield too, but it is his father Athiratha's place to perform the last rites for him. Why are you asking me, a Kshatriya, to perform his last rites?" Kuntī could not meet the eyes of Yudhishthira. She said, "He was not a Sutaputra. He was a Suryaputra who was born to me. He was born to me due to the mantra before I was married. In fear, I had abandoned him in the river and Athiratha and Radhe had brought him up. So, a Kaunteya had become a Radheya. He was my son." She sobbed profusely. She let go of all the tears that she had held back for all these many years. Everyone was whispering to each other what they had just heard from Kuntī. Yudhishthira froze in disbelief. He exclaimed, "The arch-enemy whom we despise so much turns out to be our elder brother? You knew this all along and you did not tell us, mother?" Yudhishthira suddenly remembered the fateful day at the Dyuta Sabha. When Radheya was insulting Draupadi, Yudhishthira was burning with rage, but his head was bowed down in shame. Accidentally, he had cast a glance at the feet of Radheya. Suddenly, his anger had disappeared. It was a strange feeling he had. His feet reminded him of his mother's feet. He did not understand that feeling that day. Today, he knew why Radheya's feet resembled his mother's feet. Arjuna's knees were numb. He couldn't stand straight. He exclaimed, "I have killed my elder brother. How can I redeem myself from this now?" Bhima collapsed to the ground. He remembered the day of the tournament. When he was insulting Radheya as a Sutaputra, Duryodhana had said, "Look at his radiance. He is no Sutaputra. He certainly is a Kshatriya." Duryodhana had seen something so clearly that all of them had missed. They had all taken him for a Sutaputra and insulted him time and again. Nakula and Sahadeva remembered how they had faced him on the battlefield. They remembered how he had said one day they will be proud of having met him and having fought with him. In fact, he had spared all their lives when they were clearly at his mercy. Yudhishthira asked Krishna, "Did he know about this before the war?" Krishna nodded. He said, "Both Kuntī and I tried our best to change his mind, but he would not abandon his friend Duryodhana. He was loyal to him. In fact, he voluntarily granted a boon to Kuntī. He said he would not kill any of you except Arjuna." Indeed, he had kept up his word. He had spared all their lives when he could have easily killed them. Yudhishthira's grief was enormous. He lamented that they had killed their elder brother in the battle, that too when he was not prepared. He had personally gone to the battlefield to make sure he had died. He had breathed a sigh of relief upon seeing his dead body. Radheya could have been the lord of the entire Kuru kingdom. Radheya had chosen to die an anonymous death on the battlefield for the sake of his friend. Sage Narada comforted Yudhishthira and he said, Karṇa was invincible. It would not be possible for anyone to kill him. Indra had to come and take away his kavacha and kundala. He had a curse from his guru and a Brahmin which fructified on the battlefield as well. He was invincible. It had to be this way. Yudhishthira silently performed the last rites for his newfound elder brother. He was still in shock. Even the grief of losing all his children Abhimanyu and others seemed less in front of this enormous grief. He could not come to terms that his mother Kuntī had kept the secret all along. He was angry at her. He could not see her eye to eye. In his grief and anger, he pronounced a curse on all womankind. He said it is because of the birth secret of Radheya that this devastation happened. From here on, no woman will be able to keep a secret. His sorrow seemed to have no end. With this, the Strī Parva comes to an end and Shanti Parva begins. So, what are our takeaways from the story? Radheya Karṇa could have had both Pandavas and Kauravas under his command. As the elder brother of the Pandavas, they would have accepted him. As a dear friend, Duryodhana too would have accepted him. He could have been the lord of the entire Kuru kingdom. But Radheya did not want to swoop on the very purpose of their lives. Both of them had fought for it all their lives. Moreover, he wanted to be a loyal friend to whom he was indebted highly. He wanted to repay his gratitude. The word for gratitude in Sanskritam is Kritagnata. The etymology of this word is Kritam Janami iti Kritagnata, which means I acknowledge what you have done to me. This feeling of gratitude is a wonderful feeling. It is something we have to inculcate all our lives. With these thoughts, we come to the end of today's episode. Remember, in this series, we are discussing matters of Mahabharata because even today, Mahabharata matters. Hari Om.